Well, welcome everyone to the August 13th public meeting for the town of Conception Bay South, and we'll start as always with our land acknowledgement. The town of Conception Bay South would like to respectfully acknowledge the territory in which we gather as the ancestral homelands of the Beothuk, and the island of Newfoundland as the ancestral homelands of the Mi'kmaq and Beothuk. We also respectfully acknowledge Labrador as the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Innu of Nitassinan, the Inuit of Nunatsiavut, and the Inuit of Nunatuavut. We strive for respectful partnerships with all the peoples of this province as we search for collective healing and true reconciliation and honor this beautiful land together. Next up is the adoption of the meeting agenda for tonight. So, someone want to move that? Councillor Hillier, seconded by Councillor Moores. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Okay. Next is the adoption of the meeting minutes from July 16th, moved by Councillor Butler, seconded by Councillor Connors. All in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Carried. And of course, business arising will be dealt with at this meeting and meetings into the future. Tonight, we do not have any visitors or presentations, I do not believe. Nope. We have visitors in the back of the room, and we welcome them here this evening, but no formal presentations. So we'll move right on to new business, and we'll start this evening with Councillor Gerard Tilley of Ward 3.
Thank you, Your Worship. A few items I'd like to pass along this evening. First of all, congratulations to two residents of our town, Loyola and Lyndon Power. Those two folks, Loyola being the coach of the under-23 men's fastball team from Newfoundland and Labrador, and his son Lyndon. They were successful in receiving the crown for the Canadian National Under-23 Men's Softball Championships last week in Ontario. So congratulations to those fine folks for representing Newfoundland really well. Another item, I had the opportunity to attend the concert in the park at the community park last Wednesday night. Unfortunately, not a very big crowd, but the entertainment was second to none. I must say I was really pleased and looking forward to the event next Wednesday night, and I believe there's 2 or 3 more Wednesdays. So I encourage everyone to get out and enjoy the evening in the park. It's a beautiful evening, beautiful weather, great sound system, and great entertainment. And lastly, I want to talk about there's a building, dilapidated building, I believe it's civic number 862 Conception Bay Highway. And for those people who are not familiar with that particular building, it's the old Foodland/suburban store in Kelligrews. I don't know if everyone's aware or not, there was an incident there last week where a teenager suffered a very, very serious injury when he fell through the roof of the building. So, of course, I know people are asking, well, what the heck is he doing on the roof of the building? But, you know, kids are kids, but you know, at the end of the day, this building has been vacated for, 20 years or more. And, you know, I don't know, I mean, the way that building is configured and behind the building, you can actually, anyone here could probably just hop up on the building. It's only about 4 feet high on the back. So, you know, this could have been a bigger tragedy than what actually happened there. So I'm going to ask that our planning and our enforcement people probably, if they can reach out to the owner and maybe government services, I'm not too sure who, but maybe we look at the stability structure of that building. And you know, at the end of the day, if the property owner is not going to use it doesn't have any purpose for it, I recommend that we go in and tear the place down. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Tilley. Yes, thank you for bringing that forward. Deputy Mayor Goss.
Thank you, Mayor Benz. Lots going on throughout this summer. Lots of activities going on. The concert series in our community park. We had a great family fun day on Regatta Day here in the community. It was very well attended. I want to make mention of something upcoming with our Youth Advisory Committee. So that's a group of youth that formed our committee, and as council representative, I sit on the committee with these youth. And we plan for things for them to volunteer. They're volunteers in the community, and we plan for things that they can help us out within the community. And they've been looking for projects to spearhead themselves. They've had some great ideas. So on Friday, August the 23rd, they're having a car wash, and it's at the Stuckey's Orange Store in Calagrews from 2 to 6 p.m. And this car wash is in support. They wanted to do something here in the community, so they're doing it for breakfast programs. So it's for the Kids Eat Smart Foundation. So with school opening up in the next number of weeks, they thought that would be a really good thing for them to fundraise for the schools for breakfast program. So I encourage everybody to write it down on their calendar and to come out on that Friday afternoon and get your vehicle cleaned up and support our Youth Advisory Council and support the school breakfast programs in Conception Bay South. That's it for me, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Goss. And the school breakfast program is very important in our schools right here in CBS. And as council, I think all of us at council have had to volunteer, gone out some mornings, and you can see that it's a great program. And great to see our Youth Advisory Committee supporting it in this way. Councillor Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship. Last week I had the opportunity, as Deputy Mayor alluded to attend the Family Fun Day at Upper Gulleys Elementary School on Regatta Day. And as she said, it was certainly well attended. Beautiful day, lots of young people out, families out, and so on. And as with all our events, I know we commend our staff for the work that they do in pulling these events together and great job that they do. But as I was standing around and moving around last week, I realized there's another layer of staff were on site. And those were our summer students with their summer kids with them. And you can see the great job that they've been doing in the way they were supervising the young people there that day. And I just want to say thank you to those people, commend them on the work that they were doing. And of course, they're all off to school in the fall. I just want to wish them luck as the summer comes to an end. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Hillier. Yes, our summer camps are great programs, and when we have an event like that and they take them all out to it, I'm sure it's great for them as well. Councillor Butler.
Thank you, Your Worship. I actually don't have anything individual tonight, but I'm never lost for a few words. But I want to reiterate what Councillor Hillier and the Deputy Mayor have said about being out and about in the town all summer. We've had beautiful weather, and the residents have been taking advantage of our town events, and again, being well run by our staff and our summer student programs. And also people and family residents taking advantage of our community park, our splash pad. Very popular this summer, it's been very busy there. And of course, to all our visitors that also come in to enjoy our beautiful trailway. So I just want to say, everybody keep enjoying it, because we still got lots of good weather to come yet.
Yes, summer doesn't end in CBS after Regatta Day, does it? No. Okay. Councillor Moores.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. I want to give a big shout out. As I guess most people know, the Newfoundland Summer Games are going on right now in Bay Roberts, and Team Avalon has many kids involved in various sports. The first half just concluded, and it looks like Team Avalon is in second place for medals with 33 medals, which is great. I know they got a gold in girls softball, a bronze in girls soccer, and multiple medals in swimming, which is huge for our residents and all the athletes that we have from Conception Bay South. So big congratulations to them, and best of luck to the athletes that are heading out tomorrow. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Councillor Moores. And of course, Team Avalon, for those who don't know, is pretty much Conception Bay South with some other athletes mixed into it as well. But yeah, we're very proud of the Team Avalon, what they've been able to do at this Summer Games. And I understand that you, Councillor Moores, are heading out to the second half involved in the boys' soccer. So thank you for your help in that. And go Team Avalon. Go CBS. All right. Councillor Connors.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to just talk a little bit about the ATV pilot project and one other thing. So I'm very pleased that all the signs are up for the ATV pilot project, and the designated routes have been identified. Just a reminder that it is Seal Cove Road and Garden Road and Anchorage Road and Chute Road, and all those connecting roads that within 1 kilometre of those places now have access to the ATV route. And CBS is, of course, more ATV friendly as because of it. Just want to send a reminder, people got to be 16, got to have your license, liability, and insurance. You must have an original exhaust system, but I'm asking all ATV users to respectful and yield right away to all pedestrians, oncoming traffic, anyone that's out on a pedal bike or a bicycle, and to travel on the side road when it is safe to do so. And hopefully this will be a huge success. So I want to do that. Second topic that I wanted to talk about was an event that happened here in Conception Bay South on July 26th. The Rolling Barrage came and visited the town. For those that don't know, the Rolling Barrage is a group of veterans, first responders, and other groups that come together and start here in St. John's or in the East Coast and go all the way to the West Coast, out to Victoria, I think it's Victoria, BC, where they end their ride. This year, myself and Fire Chief Heffernan and in conjunction with the Legion, we arranged for them to stop here at the Monument of Honour. And it was greatly, they seemed very appreciative of what they did. They had an opportunity to lay some wreaths, and they really enjoyed it. So next year they want to come back and do a full stop here in Conception Bay South and have a meal up at the, probably at the Legion, and start their ride from Conception Bay South. So really looking forward to that. It was, as I got to say a few words there, and I said that it was an honour and a privilege to have them here, because they are all people who are involved with making our lives safe, or keeping us safe, and so it was a privilege to be able to host them here in our community. And next year we hope to be able to do something a little bit bigger and a little bit better here for them. So Conception Bay South will be recognised as the starting point for their ride out of or to the West Coast. So I think they're on day 17 and they're in Alberta today. Thank you very much. That's all for me.
Thank you, Councillor Connors. And of course, we're always welcome here in Conception Bay South, and absolutely welcome at our Monument of Honour, as everyone is. Councillor Hardy.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a couple of things. Family Fun Day, another well-attended event here in the town of CBS up at the Upper Gully School. We had bouncy castles, we had some music, we had the barbecue, we had some animals, we had a couple of goats, we had some bunnies. Oh, sorry. And then we also had Emma's and Katie's Candy Shop, which is also very well attended, and it was a real warm day, so a lot of kids were going around with the snow cones, so that was another great day that the staff put off. And just to build on what Councillor Hillier said, just want to thank all the town of CBS camper staff. My girls were able to get in there a couple of weeks during the summer, and some of their friends. And to see them come home, and some days when you're picking them up not want to leave, that just goes to show the amount of work our staffers are doing with the kids. They're learning, they're interengaging, they were canoeing. They did a lot of great things with the kids. So I'm very thankful that we're able to put that camp off to as many kids as we are. So thanks for that, and pass that along, Nick. I think the staff that we have are top-notch. They're amazing. And last thing, I just want to talk about the Special Olympics softball game that we had a couple of weeks ago with the Coast, a couple of Sundays ago. Eric Hart and all of our Special Olympics athletes. Really great attended event. There was a barbecue, there was a canteen. The place was full. Like, people were parked up on the main road just to get in. It was almost like it was a soiree. The kids were having so much fun. We had special guests. We had Charlie Brown pitch a couple of innings. I think there was Spider-Man. Everyone was doing something, and all the kids could feel the love. We even had the fire department come in and make sure one of the bats were in good shape and was hot and it was going to get a real big hit. So it was just such a real nice day, and a big shout out to Eric Hart for everything he's doing, and thanks for extending the invitation to us to go up and participate. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Hardy. Yeah, it was a great event, as they always do every year, Coast 101. And of course, Bill Hart pushes that really heavy. And he's greatly involved in the program, and he does a great job with the Special Olympics. And of course, Eric Hart runs the softball end of it and makes sure that they're getting their games every week and so forth. And it culminates into this great event they have at the end of July. And they're actually having a year-end event now coming up sometime later in August, at 26th of August. Looking forward to that up there as well. And they'll hold that right at Nugent's Park, and it's great fun for everybody. But the Coast 101 event is a fantastic event, and hats off to all of them for that. And the athletes, Deadpool was up there, and a group of wrestlers were up there. Yes, there was wrestlers on site, so it's quite the softball game. Yeah, and you and I were there, and made a great contribution to the world of softball that afternoon. Kinda. You know, you did maybe. I wasn't so good at it. Okay, best for last, Councillor Josh Barrett.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Yeah, I just wanted to bring up one item this evening. Exciting to announce this weekend coming. We have RibFest 2024, and so this is going to take place in the CBS Arena, and we are featuring two primary rib vendors, Texas Ranger BBQ and Krabby Shake BBQ. And so these folks are traveling from all across Canada. They pull off these events in various communities each summer, and they're award-winning ribs, and don't come just for the ribs. There's chicken, and there's bouncy castles, and there's our local brewery will be there, Nine Penny, and live music. And so it's going to be a great weekend, a little something for everyone. If you're not down at Churchill Park, certainly come on by. And as the Deputy Mayor mentioned, well, first of all, the event itself is free. You can go in, you need to purchase the ribs, but to get into the event, it's free. But in lieu of a free event, we are advertising that folks are have an opportunity to donate instead of providing a cover. And similar to the Youth Advisory Committee, you can provide a donation to the Kids Eat Smart program and the CBS Food Bank, and we'll ensure that all of those donations will stay in CBS and support these programs in CBS. So certainly an exciting weekend ahead. We should get some good weather, and looking forward to it. That's it for me right now. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Yeah, RibFest and CBS. I don't know where this Churchill Park is you speak of, but anyway, it's going to be a great time out at the CBS Arena on the weekend. So we encourage everyone to come out for a visit, drop by, and try it out. Just a couple other things over the past few weeks since we last met. A couple of seniors events. I'll mention them because the staff and recreation do such a great job hosting seniors events, and we did a couple since the last meeting with a 50-plus club at Worsley Park, and I believe it's the Twilight group as well, and hosted barbecues, and it was great to see so many people out for those. And I just wanted to mention that the Canada Games are a year away, and I was unfortunately part of a baseball game to kick that 1 year off. I went expecting a softball game, and the pitches were coming in about 60 miles an hour, so it wasn't quite softball as I remember it. Took me 4 or 5 pitches to get my timing, but almost got one out of the infield. Anyway, but it was a great event, and of course it is 1 year out, and CBS is part of the 2025 St. John's Canada Games, and it's a great event there. And I just want to mention, I know it's probably coming up a little later, but an event that a lot of us look forward to, and a lot of people in town, especially families, young children, and older children, is Pirate Day on August 24th down at Topsail Beach. So I can't wait to see all the young and old pirates and down at the beach. It's a great event, and we look forward to it every year. Okay, so let's get to the business of the people of Conception Bay South. Recommendations of the Planning and Development Committee, and the chair is Councillor Gerard Tilley.
Thank you, Your Worship. Everyone sit back and relax, because we got a lot tonight. And if you think I got a lot, wait till you look at finance. They got a lot more than me. So we'll start off with our recommendations of our Planning and Development Committee meeting from last Monday. Item 6A, 37 Augustus Avenue. Be it so resolved that the email poll to tolerate the location of an existing accessory building at number 37 Augustus Avenue be ratified. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hillier, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, there's an accessory building permit. Second out. It won't take my vote. Okay. There's an accessory building built under permit in May 14th of 2020. We've since learned that there's been an encroachment from the Newfoundland Power easement perspective, and side yard setbacks by less than 1 meter. So we've agreed to tolerate those encroachments, and staff is okay with allowing for the toleration on that particular piece of property.
Committee recommends acceptance. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6B, number 19, Birchie Hollow. Be it so resolved that in accordance with sections 4.4, 6.7.1, 6.7.2, 6.7.3, 9.2, and 9.7 of the town's development regulations, application numbers 3303, 3304, 3309, received on December 7, 2023, and revised applications received on June 13th, 2024, for 2 home-based businesses, mainly land surveying firm and plant nursery, located at number 19 Birchie Hollow, be refused in consideration that the office and business would be wholly located within an accessory building and that the property cannot accommodate the minimum off-street parking required for the dwelling and businesses. And further, be it so resolved that in accordance with section 10.7 of the town's development regulations, application number 3304, received on December 15, 2023 for a hobby farm located at 19 Birchie Hollow, be refused. And further, be it so resolved that the town initiate a non-compliance file regarding 19 Birchie Hollow with a goal to have any unpermitted development, including, but not limited to, placement of fill, keeping of livestock, and operation of business cease, and that the property be restored to ensure compliance with the town's regulations. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Butler, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, the recommendation is pretty self-explanatory. Quite a few things that are on the go with that particular property that are against our town regulations.
Any other comments?
What's the issue with the hobby farm?
I believe the hobby farm was that it was started without a permit. Is that my understanding?
That was certainly one thing, and we put public notices out to the community, and the committee considered the 12 submissions that expressed some concerns with the ongoing activity, and the cumulative effect is that the committee recommended refusal of the application.
And the ongoing activity wasn't permitted or by the town, so to add to that would be a further non-compliance, I suspect, is probably the key reason. So, if you're not in compliant to begin with, then you've got to come into compliance at some point before you can go further, I suppose. Makes perfect sense. Anybody have any other comments on that one? Any questions? We'll see where it goes. Maybe they'll be able to come back and do something in the future. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6C, 12 Next Door Place. Be it so resolved that in accordance with Council's discretionary authority provided by Section 5.3, subsection 2 of the Town's Development Regulations, application number 4268 received on June 19, 2024 for an 8.4 square meter accessory building at 12 Next Door Place be approved. So moved.
Seconder. Deputy Mayor Goss, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, this is a proposed accessory building. It's already been built and actually on the property, and it falls within the discretionary use for us, and staff are recommending approval.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6D, 1198 Conception Bay Highway. Be it so resolved that in accordance with Sections 15 of the town's fence regulations, application number 4153 for a front yard fence at 1198 Conception Bay Highway, received May 31st, 2024, be approved subject to a maximum height of 1.2 meters and approval of Provincial Department of Transportation and Infrastructure. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Hillier, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, the proposed front yard fence, and as I alluded to in the recommendation, that there's a maximum height, and of course, an approval will be conditional on transportation and infrastructure.
Any other comments? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6E, number 6 Spruce Hill Place. Be it so resolved and in accordance with Sections 5.3 subsection 2 and 5.22 of the Town's Development Regulations, application number 4094 for a 24.5 square meter above-ground pool at number 6 Spruce Hill Place be approved. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Moores, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, proposal for an above-ground swimming pool. The pool is already in place. Its notice have been published to the surrounding area, and I believe we had one concern, which we think that we can mitigate that, and staff is recommending approval of the swimming pool.
Any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Six F, number 2597 Topsail Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with Section 13 of the Town's Fence Regulations, application number 4213 for a fence at 2597 Topsail Road, received on June 12, 2024, be approved subject to a maximum height of 1.8 meters. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hardy, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item number 6G, number 19 Talkville Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with Section 10.8 and 10.11 of the Town's Development Regulations, application number 4307, proposing to develop a 2-unit, 13-bedroom building at number 19 Talkville Road, be refused as the proposal constitutes a boarding house which is prohibited in the R2 land use zone. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Butler, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, as I alluded to in the recommendation, this is a proposed 2-unit building. Unit 1 had 10 bedrooms, Unit 2 had 2 to 3 bedrooms. Most bedrooms, again, have ensuite washrooms, and of course, boarding houses are not permitted as a permitted use within the R2 zone.
Okay. Not permitted by regulations.
That's
Any
correct.
further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6H, 2832 Talkville Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with Section 4.9 subsection 2 of the Town's Development Regulations, a decision on application number 4371 received on July 8, 2024 for a development of a 10-unit apartment building at 2832 Talkville Road be deferred for further consideration of potential impacts on the neighbourhood and the resolution of an appeal that, if dismissed, could result in the construction of a new street access from the area to Route 60. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hilliard, discussion?
No discussion.
I thought you were looking for it on your computer because things have been popping up lately, yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, fair enough. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Six I, 1657 to 1659, Conception Bay Highway. Be it so resolved that in accordance with sections 3.12 and 10.10 of the town's development regulations, application number 4313 received on June 28, 2024, proposed to subdivide the property at 1657, 1659 Conception Bay Highway into 2 residential building lots be approved, with variances reducing the lot frontage from 21 meters to approximately 19.5 meters for each lot. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Connors. Discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, we advertised this request, and we received one submission who was opposed, and council feels that we can mitigate that as well. So we are recommending of approval of the subdivision of the property.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Item 6J, number 31 Villanova Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with Council's discretionary authority provided by sections 5.3.1 and 5.3 subsection 3 of the town's development regulations, application number 4118, received on June 4, 2024, for a 66.1 square meter accessory building at number 31 Villanova Road be approved, subject to the acquisition of a municipal water and sewer permit and approvals from Service NL for any on-site septic system and the Provincial Water Resources Management Division for development near a water body. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Barrett. Discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, again, all the stuff that was contained within the recommendation we have received. We did publish notices, and we did receive one submission opposing. But again, staff recommend approval of the application.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6K, number 33 to 35.
Excuse me, Your Worship, I'm in conflict on this one. I have relatives living in the immediate area.
Okay, thank you.
Be it so resolved that the town undertake initial public consultation regarding a proposed amendment to the town's development regulations to allow infill development of single dwellings on existing municipal roads with on-site services within the residential medium density zone where there are no municipal services. So moved.
Seconder. Deputy Mayor Goss. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Your Worship, items 6L and 6M, I'll be declaring a conflict of interest due to I have family members who live in the vicinity of these two recommendations, and I'll be declaring a conflict. And Councillor Hiller will be reading those.
Thank you, Councillor Tilley.
Prior to Councillor Tilley making the motion, I am also declaring a conflict on 6L, as it's the file involves my employer.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Okay, Councillor Hilliard.
Yes, Your Worship, number 6I, 16 Flats Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with sections 4.92 and 4.94 of the town's development regulations, application number 4241 seeking to remove an existing dwelling and develop a new single dwelling at 16 Flats Road be deferred pending council's review of results from a geotechnical investigation by Stantec. So move.
Seconder. Councillor Moores, discussion?
Your Worship, this property is in the area of the landslide down the Demanuels River several years ago, and we're currently in the process of doing some drilling in that area. The results of that drilling has not come out yet, so we're going to defer this this application until such time as we're sure that there's no concerns with building in that area.
Yeah, absolutely. Any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And 6M, 119 to 123 Cherry Lane. Be it so resolved that the request for a variance to reduce the lot frontage from 21 metres to 18.9 metres for a lot to be subdivided from 119 to 123 Cherry Lane be refused, as compliance with the standards would not prejudice the development of the property. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Barrett, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship. Normally, in the case of a variance, we're in a situation where there would not be enough land available for a permit to be issued for a building. Normally, we can vary it up to 10%. In this case, we feel that the land is available to be used to build a house, and therefore we're refusing that application.
No need for the variance.
No need for variance.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Mayor Bent, I'm declaring a conflict on 6N as I have a close business relationship with the applicant on this file.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Mayor Bent, I'm also declaring conflict. I have family members that work for the employer.
Thank you. Councillor Hardy.
Item 6N, 40A Foster Baxter's Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with sections 10.23.11 and 4.6 of the town's development regulations, application number 4154 received on May 31st, 2024 to alter or expand the use of the existing use of a building at 40A Foster Baxter's Road from a private garage to a commercial garage and inspection station be refused, as the proposal is contrary to the private aspect of the maintenance garage and may negatively impact surrounding residential property owners. So moved.
We have a seconder. Councillor Moores. Discussion?
I'll start off, Your Worship. I'll be voting against this proposal this evening. I know that the property has been a business or industrial business in Conception Bay South for as long as I can remember. I'd say 50 years. The proposal was for the proponent to allow for some inspections of heavy equipment on their property in an existing garage. And I believe that's something that we could accommodate, but I just feel that it's something that we can accommodate, so I'll be voting against the proposal.
Anyone else?
Your Worship, this property was rezoned, I'll say 3 years ago, could be 4 years ago, as a result of being part of a non-conforming use, which meant that while it was operating in the area around it was zoned differently. The proponent wanted to increase the size of the garage, and we couldn't do it under the non-conforming use policy, and therefore it was recommended that it be rezoned. And as part of the rezoning, one of the conditions was that it would remain as a private garage and not carry out commercial activity there from bringing on customers onto the site. And basically, that's the reason why we've come forward with this motion tonight to refuse that, because it goes against that private aspect of the maintenance garage.
Anyone else like to speak to this?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'll be voting against this as well tonight. As mentioned by Councillor Tilley, this property has been a commercial industrial site for probably as long as the town has been incorporated or longer. For some reason, it got rezoned when the town's first zoning bylaws came into place, or the town was first zoned. And the council, last council I think it was, rectified that by rezoning it and allowing it to be changed to an industrial commercial site, which was the right thing to do. But for some reason there was a private there, but it is an industrial commercial site. The addition of 1 or 2 vehicles coming into the lot on a weekly basis is not going to be, in my opinion, is not going to have negative impacts on the surrounding area. It's been operating with heavy equipment coming in and out for, well, as I said, a long time, and that I feel that we could easily accommodate this by allowing them to do. It's not opening it to personal vehicles. It is opening it to a small number of commercial vehicles. It's not like you can bring your car in there to get repaired or anything. It's to do inspections on commercial vehicles, heavy equipment. So for those reasons, I think that we could have accommodated this, or could accommodate this application. So I'll be voting against it.
Would anyone else like to speak? Yes, Councillor Morris.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. I think in this situation, we, as Councillor Hillier said, it was 3 or 4 years ago that, you know, this was revisited, but it was done on the basis that it would be private, that, you know, we were respecting the neighbors and, you know, they were able to expand, which is something that they wanted to do. I guess I voted the way I did because I feel that if we go against that now, we're not considering the neighbors in the surrounding area, and that we won't be able to control it if it becomes public, because we can't guarantee that there will only be 1 or 2 vehicles in there. So I just wanted to speak up of why I voted the way I did. Thank you.
Yeah, anyone else?
Yes, I'll also be voting for this refusal based mostly on what Councillor Hillier said, and of course the understanding that it was the agreement in place that was first put there a number of years ago, and to keep the residents in the area, you know, to be undisturbed as much as possible, and providing them the opportunity to be able to fix their own machinery and their heavy equipment certainly is something that they should have, and I'm glad they do have it, but I don't think it should extend beyond that. Thank you.
Anyone else? I think that's pretty well everybody has spoken on it. Okay. Councillor Barrett, did you want to chime in, or?
I'll say that it is my vote on this matter is to yay in the recommendation, and that's predominantly because of the way that our development regulations are articulated, and that it specifically says that this is a private use for private use. If there's a discussion of amending the regulations, maybe that would be another matter, but as it currently stands, my interpretation of that is that this is not permitted, and that's why I am voting in refusal of allowing that for public access.
And was there public feedback on this, Director?
Thank you, Mayor Bent. No, this didn't require any manner of public notification or consultation at this time.
Yeah, and since we brought this forward from COW, it's one of the things that's nagging on me is the concern that I have for the people in the area and what it may lead to for them going forward. And I think there's been an indication it was 1 or 2 vehicles a week. However, we have no way of limiting that in any way, do we? Or can we put a stipulation on it that if it becomes something that is unbearable for the neighbors, that we can revoke that?
Certainly, council does have a broad authority to apply conditions to any approvals. And if, for example, in this case, it was a condition to approve subject to a maximum number of external vehicles or pieces of equipment coming to the site, and if council felt that ultimately that had been contravened, you would have the ability to revoke any such approval.
That would require deferring this motion to come back to council, is that right?
If you wanted to articulate a condition of that variety, it certainly would.
Yeah, okay. Well, to be honest with you, that's really kind of where I am. I agree with Councillor Tilley and Councillor Connors. This has been a long-standing business in this area, doing pretty much this very same work. If it were one or two vehicles, I'm not sure anybody would ever notice it. If it becomes much more than that and grows into a bigger commercial operation, then it becomes something else. So, I think at this juncture, we have a motion before council to approve or deny the motion. I think at this point, I'm going to vote against this proposal. And if it wants to come back with conditions, then I suppose that would be the way it can, unless it gets approved, I suppose. So would that be the best course of action? We have an odd number, yeah. So yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to agree with the recommendation, and we can go from there. If they want to come back with conditions, I'd certainly be willing to consider conditions that would ensure that the operation doesn't go any further into a larger commercial operation around this residential area. So that'll be my reasoning. So the recommendation is to refuse. So all in favor?
Can I just ask a question of clarification?
Sorry, absolutely.
So if this is approved tonight to refuse it, the application would have to go through the same application process again in order to get recommendations added to it, or can we have added conditions added to?
I think it would go back to committee, and if so chosen by council, to have another look at and decide if any restrictions to be added to it were acceptable by the committee and made as a recommendation again. I don't think it would need to go back to square one, but.
Yeah, but I'm just want to confirm that.
Yeah, so Director.
If it is approved tonight to refuse, do they have to make another application?
I guess at a future meeting of council, if council ultimately rescinded, if the vote proceeded with the recommendation tonight, at a future meeting of council, council could choose to rescind that decision and approve the application subject to any conditions that council sees fit. So it wouldn't be a reset to zero, but certainly it would require discussion by committee, as Mayor Bent indicated.
So if I asked that it be deferred back to committee, and that was agreeable by council, then would that, that's a clear question. Another vote. And will our system allow for me to have another vote? So you're going to have to beat the machine. So I would ask that, I would ask to put a motion to defer this back to committee to consider restrictions. And I would ask for a seconder of council. If I have a seconder, then we can have a vote and we can decide whether it's going to be deferred or not. So I have a seconder and Councillor Connors for it to be deferred back to committee. So I'll call, and I don't know if anybody wants to speak to that, but I think we're self-evident what I'm trying to accomplish. So
Do we need a majority to go back?
do we need a majority vote for it to go back? I think we do, yep. So I will ask all in favor of deferring this motion for further consideration. And that's 2 yeas and those against? 1, 2, 3 against. Councillor Butler, you can't abstain. Okay, we'll certainly ask the question.
No, I mean, if we were to go back to the business and they, you know, we were to figure out maybe, okay, if there's only going to be 2 or 3 vehicles within a week or whatever like that, as the director says, like we could look at those kind of restrictions. So, I mean, we could defer, we could defer it based on that and then have them say, okay, this is what it's going to be, but then we have to control that also. So I'm just wondering, you know, I mean, how does that all work? I mean,
I'm sorry, we have to be what?
like you say 3, 4, 5 vehicles per week or whatever it is we decide upon, you know. I mean, I wouldn't be against, you know, if it was only 2 or 3 vehicles a week doing this. But I certainly would be against it if it was like 10 or 11 or 12 going up and down the road, because this is heavy equipment you're talking about going through the residential area. So this is what I'm thinking about, right? So, you know, I'm just saying.
Can I
No,
speak to that?
I'm
May I
all
ask?
for going back and deferring it and looking at that aspect.
So, first of all,
That is what it was originally put forward as, 2 vehicles. Yes, sir. It said 1 or 2 vehicles.
this is
All right,
not,
so
this is not
Councillor
going,
Connors, yeah, sorry.
this is not going through a residential area, it is going through a private driveway right off Route 60, or, not Route 60, sorry, Foxtrot Access Road. It's a lane or driveway to a commercial building. It is a commercial building, so it's not like a private garage or anything like that, although it is stated as a private garage. And if there was a condition on it, we have a number of, and we probably got a couple on our, that we're looking at now, that we can rescind our application at a future date if we get resident complaints or resident concerns saying that the traffic has gone tenfold. So we can rescind that then. So there are options for us to be able to let this go ahead and rescind it later.
Yeah, I'm not sure what our grounds for rescinding would be if we didn't have a restriction on it that was not being followed. Oh, I agree with that. Okay, so what you're saying, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yes,
Okay.
I agree with the restriction. If we say
Okay.
for
So-
5 vehicles per week or whatever, one a
Whatever
day.
is decided.
Right? Whatever
So-
we decide on. If they break that, then we can rescind it at a later date.
Yeah, so I guess, so the question goes back to, we got to finish the vote on the motion to defer?
Can I just say one more thing?
Yes.
So we're talking about something here now that as 3 or 4 years ago, they wanted to expand something and we allowed it only if it would it be private, which meant only vehicles that they operated their business. So now we're going to go against that. And the reason that that was decided was because we were thinking of the neighborhood and people in the neighborhood and the amount of trucks going back and forth. So now we are going against that and going to allow even more vehicles.
So
So
can
my opinion
can
is
I-
not going to change.
I guess the argument would be is if they bought 2 more vehicles, there'd be 2 more vehicles there anyway. So I guess the question becomes do we allow them to operate a commercial business or not, go from a strictly private to commercial? And if we are we limiting that or are we opening up? You can't have it both ways. Once we open it up, it's opened up. So they can have 30 vehicles there a week if they choose to, unless we put a restriction on it if we're willing to do that. If we're not willing to do that, that's fine. But I think at this point, we should get to the end of the vote on the deferment. If that doesn't pass, then we'll finish the vote on the motion and go from there. Does anyone else want to speak to that?
Can I
Okay.
just make a comment?
Yes. Final comment.
The rezoning a couple of years ago wasn't to accommodate a new business. It was to fix an error that was made back in the 70s when a piece of property that has been commercial since before the town was incorporated, I'm guessing, or very early, and that was zoned incorrectly back then to correct that problem, which was the right thing to do. Putting conditions on it now, and I agree with 1 or 2 vehicles, I got no problem with that. But like, this has been a business that's been operating there for a very long time.
Your Worship, I've got I guess, some concern with Councillor Connors suggesting that rezoning or that zoning 50 years ago was a mistake. We've got some 80 of these non-conforming uses in the town. So I guess what he's saying is that there's been 80 mistakes in rezoning or zoning. The reason that this was in a residential zone. The whole area is zoned residential. And this property was allowed to stay there and carry out its business. And as I said, we've got some 80 of those throughout the town. So it's not a mistake.
I have to ask the question, is it a commercial business? It is. It is a commercial business. So by allowing it to be there, they allowed a commercial business to operate in a residential zone. But it should have been zoned commercial.
And it's been rezoned since 3 or 4 years ago, as was noted, and allowed to operate as a private use commercial business in that area, not a public or I guess for an open business for anyone other than themselves. So they were allowed to repair their vehicles on their property for their use. And now they're looking to repair other people's vehicles on their property. And that's the question. I'd like to get to the vote on the deferment, and then we can go from there. So all in favor of deferring this back to committee? 1, 2, 3, 4. All in favor of not? 3. Okay, we'll defer it back to committee, and if the committee decides to put restrictions on it, send it back, or I guess possibly let it die on the vine, I suppose, is an option as well. But we'll leave it to committee, and they can come back at the next meeting and see where we are. Now, I've got my vote in front of me, and I have forgotten what the vote is asking me, but I think it's, I think we're, okay, so it's to defer, yes. All right, submit. There we go. All right, next up, Councillor Tilley.
Item 6O, committee report. Be it so resolved that the discussions and decisions of the August 6, 2024 Planning Development Committee meeting be accepted as presented, and the items discussed are listed below. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Barrett. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. That was much easier.
And that's it from the world of planning and development.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Tilley. Next up, recommendations of the Engineering and Public Works Committee, and that is Councillor Melissa Hardy.
Thank you, Your Worship. Only a few items, so hopefully we can keep those moving along. 7A, approval to award tender 24-05, lease of 2 garbage trucks with automatic, 2 automatic trucks. Be it so resolved that approval is given to award tender 24-05, lease of 2 garbage trucks to Big Truck Rentals at a value of $27,600 plus HST per month, and funds are available in account as noted. So moved.
Seconder, Deputy Mayor Goss. Discussion?
It's the trucks that we had previously approved through our leasing. We're just bringing it all forward now, and they should arrive late fall.
Excellent. All in
Or this
favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
7B, I have to do...
Excuse me, Mayor, I have to declare conflict, as this is the business that I have a close working relationship with.
Mayor Bent, I also have to declare conflict because I have family members that work for the employer. And Councillor Hillier is going to take over.
A bit of deja vu on the...
Yeah, all over again. Recommendation number 7B. Be it so resolved that approval be given to award tender for water transmission main upgrade to Eric Taylor Limited at a cost of $2,973,527.97, including HST. Funds are available from the project account. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Morris. Discussion? This water main expenditure
That's correct.
is the replacement from the major I guess, break we had earlier this year, and that whole area that was identified that needed to be replaced is now going to finally be replaced, and there's the money to do it. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Thank you, Councillor Hillier. 7C, before I read out the blanket recommendation, just a couple of items I'd like to bring forward from our engineering committee. We have had, I guess, a lot of warm weather recently, so just want to remind residents that we do have a water conservation policy, and just be mindful when you're watering your plants and anything you may have around your house that you're looking to do. Just be mindful of that, and all of our policies are on our town's website. Construction update. In the next few weeks, obviously, people are seeing lots of construction in full swing right now, but in the coming weeks, they're going to see a lot more of the construction. We have some sidewalks that are being completed in areas. We did have the one there in Kelligrews completed, but we do have some more coming in the Topsail and Upper Gullies area around Topsail Road, and again in the Upper Gullies Conception Bay Route 60 area. And just to remind residents that, obey all the traffic measures and the signs when we are driving and commuting in those areas. And the last one would be on the sanitary sewer vapor testing. We have had some communications go out recently from our comms department here at the town of CBS. So we're going to be engaging with the Biomax Environmental Lid to conduct the vapor testing with our sanitary sewer system. The testing is sometimes referred to as smoke testing, but it is non-evasive, and it's a method used by municipalities to identify any potential leaks or defects in our sanitary sewer systems. And this work is actually going to be beginning to commence in the next few weeks, August 26th, and it's going to be ongoing throughout the entire town for about 2 months. So residents, it's not harmful, don't be alarmed, and it shouldn't enter anyone's home unless there's a cross connection between a storm system and the sanitary sewer lines. If this occurs, the vapor will dissipate within about 30 seconds as soon as you open up a window or a door. So don't be alarmed if that does happen, but obviously if you do smell smoke, it's a bit of a different situation. You have to follow those measures, and more details can be found on our town's website, and we'll certainly have lots of communication coming out. So that's everything. Be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions of the Engineering and Public Works Committee held on August 7th, 2024 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Moores, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Thank you, Mayor Bent.
Thank you, Councillor Hardy. Next up, we have recommendations of the, I got a vote in progress. Okay. Good. Thank you, sir. Next up, we have recommendations from the Recreation and Leisure Services Committee, and the chair is Councillor Josh Barrett.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Short and sweet this evening in comparison to some of my other colleague chairs here. Before I get to the recommendation, I did want to remind residents of the excitement as we launch our inaugural Trailway Trek Half Marathon on the Trailway in Conception Bay South from Seal Cove to Topsail, and we've had a lot of interest in this already, and to the point we've actually increased the number of participants, and I know there's already a number of folks on the wait list again, and so we're very excited to be pulling this off on September 29th, and I did want to articulate again, as I did last council meeting, that we are still open and looking for sponsors for this event. We already had a lot of interest from local businesses and organizations and sports groups that are willing to provide hydration stations and the like along the trailway, and we're still looking for other organizations to get involved. And so we do have various tiers of sponsorship packages that you can check out on our website and chat to our staff about. And even if there's nothing that you see on our website that we're looking for, but you believe you might have a service that you want to provide for the event, please do let us know. We truly think that this is going to be a really big and great inaugural event, and we'll get traction over the years, and are excited to having a very strong inaugural event in September. So please keep that in mind. All right, 8A. Recreation and Leisure Services Committee report. Be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions of the Recreation and Leisure Services Committee meeting of August 8th, 2024 be accepted as presented. There's a few items listed in the minutes there. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Morris, discussion. Councillor Barrett, is it full again, the
It's full again.
Trailway Trek?
It's full again. We got 300 folks registered, and we have a wait list of about 50, I believe, and
Wow.
that's nearing completion as well. So if you're on the wait list, stay tuned. We know as the event comes closer, as people train and get nervous and back out, there might be a few openings. So keep that in mind. And I'll tell you what, if we got a small wait list, we might be able to add a scatter person or two.
We can cheer them on.
I was just gonna join in like for the last 400 or 500 feet.
Well, I heard Councillor Connors is setting up a hot dog stand at Topsail Beach, so we'll make sure. Okay, well, we'll make sure he gets a mobile vendor permit for that. But in any case,
Well, and I encourage residents, to go online and look at the Trailway Trek and the route, and come out and cheer on the runners and support them. And it's quite, I think, a half marathon. It's a little further than that small little race they have up the road there that goes into Bannerman Park. So it's really good to see the turnout for that. And I'm really glad we were able to make some more spots available, because as soon as it filled, I know Councillor Moores and I had a few requests right away, like, how do we get in? But we got the room, we can do it. And of course, this year and we're going to assess how it goes this year to see what else we can do going forward, because the response to this has been incredible. So it's a success already, really. We'll just learn from the event and move on for next year as well. Okay, any other comments? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Okay, we have now recommendations of the Financial and Administrative Services Committee, the longest agenda of the evening. Deputy Mayor Goss, start us down the road.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Yes, there's a long agenda. When we're on summer schedule, some of the meetings things tend to pile up. So I'll make this flow as quick and painlessly as possible. It's a long evening. Okay, 9A is our donation to the DARE program. Be it so resolved that approval be given for $2,500 donation to the DARE program offered by the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary, funds available in account as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Tilley, discussion?
This is a donation we do every year. This is a great program. The Royal Newfoundland Constabulary use those funds to go into the schools and talk about drug awareness to the kids. And so it's something that we, as council, stand behind and are only proud to be able to support.
Yeah, they're great programs, and I've been to a few of the graduations. It's just wonderful how the young people are engaged. And one of the things that the RNC at the events have told me, that people assume that the RNC is paying for all the supplies and all the things that they get for the DARE program. The RNC is paying for the staff to do it. But all the things they need to pull it off are funded through donations, and like this one. And very pleased to be able to support them coming to our schools, our elementary schools here in Conception Bay South. Continue that. Any other discussion on that one? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9B, donation to the CBS Paradise Food Bank. Be it so resolved that approval be given for a $1,000 donation to the CBS Paradise Food Bank. Funds are available in account as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Butler, discussion.
Again, this is a donation that this council supports each year. It's a very important service here in the community.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
9C, Conception Bay Area Chamber of Commerce Annual Golf Tournament. Be it so resolved that approval be given to enter a team at the Chamber of Commerce Annual Golf Tournament to be held on September 12, 2024 at the Willows Golf Course at a cost of $500. Funds available in account as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hillier, discussion.
This is the annual Conception Bay Area Chamber of Commerce Golf Tournament that we like to support. Our chamber and our business community is very important to us, and this is an opportunity for some of council will go out and we'll meet up with our municipal partners, our neighbours. Town of Holyrood, Town of Paradise will be there, and we'll have an opportunity to network and discuss things that are going on in the municipal world while we get to mingle with our local business community and support our Chamber of Commerce.
And brag.
And brag.
And brag. Don't
Somebody
forget
might
brag.
Yeah, no, it's the major fundraiser for the
It is.
area Chamber of Commerce in the summertime, and it's great to be able to support them. And the fact that it's a golf tournament, it makes it entertaining, I suppose, to be able to support them in an entertaining way, like some of us did last year, that some of us won't be doing this year. I think we've got a new team going out this year, if I'm not mistaken. So good luck to you folks out there. Just remember that we were the only team not to get an award last year, I think, for something. Not even for last or anything, right? So good luck out there this year. You want what? You want a box of golf balls. I hope you're using them in good health. Okay. All right. Any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9D, Human Resources, Manager of Stadium Operations and Events. Be it so resolved that Chad Brinson be confirmed in the position of Manager of Stadium Operation and Events as per the terms and conditions of his employment contract. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Connors. Discussion.
I do believe it's... Did you hear any of that? Chad Brinson's been with us a year, and he's now a permanent employee, and we congratulate him on the anniversary of his employment. And
Perfect. Any further comments? All in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Carried.
Next item, 9E, Human Resources Public Works Supervisor. Be it so resolved that approval be given to appoint Aaron Aspel to the position of Public Works Supervisor as per the terms and conditions of the employment contract. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Tilley. Discussion.
We have a little bit of internal movement. These are some positions that a position became open, and we had some movement that some different people have moved around. It's a great opportunity for them to try new things and learn, take their skills and apply them in other areas. So Aaron's just been appointed to the position of Public Works Supervisor.
Excellent. Any further comments? All in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Carried.
9F, Human Resources Public Works Supervisor, Water and Sewer. Be it resolved that approval be given to appoint Dave Upshaw to the position of Public Works Supervisor, Water and Sewer, as per the terms and conditions of the employment contract. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Butler. Discussion.
Again, another employee that's moved up.
Okay, great. All in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Carried.
9G, Human Resources Assistant Manager of Public Works, Water and Sewer. Be it so resolved that approval be given to appoint Desmond Power to the position of Assistant Manager of Public Works, Water and Sewer, as per the terms and conditions of the employment contract. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Connors. Discussion.
Much the same.
All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
9H, special event policy. Be it so resolved that the special event policy be adopted as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Tilly. Discussion.
We had some inquiries of people wanting to hold special events, different things in the community, block parties and sorts, and it was decided that we really needed to have a policy in place to regulate, govern, as God, whatever. That's what this policy is about.
Yeah, so the request had started to come in over the last couple, certainly since COVID for sure, and we wanted to make sure that this was, if we're doing something like this, that we do it in a way that's not disruptive to people and that
Absolutely.
it follows proper liability and rules and so forth, so that it's done in the right way. And we've followed, I think, with our policy is not much different, if not pretty well the same as some of our neighbors have already done. So we're not cutting
Yep.
a new path on this one. We're just making it a possibility for those who want to do
Yeah,
it.
we take out the guesswork of what they can do and what they can't.
Any further comments?
I just want to say real quick, I know we have big agendas this evening, but this is a pretty important thing we're doing this evening. This has come up a couple times the past few years, and I think it's important we have this now. I know a number of residents, a number of neighborhoods are looking to host these types of initiatives in their neighborhoods, and so I'm happy we're able to get this out and hopefully passed, and folks will be pleased with the outcome.
Yep, I agree.
All in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Carried.
9I, accounts payable checks. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay accounts payable checks totaling $931,545.71 as per the attached report. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hardy, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9J, manual checks. Be it so resolved that approval be given to ratify the payment of manual checks totaling $58,008.43. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Morris, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9K, direct payments. Be it so resolved that approval be given to ratify direct payments totaling $345,162.65. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Morris, discussion. All in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Carried.
Did you do that? Okay. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay capital invoices totaling $269,915.63 as per the attached report. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Butler, discussion. All in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Carried.
Oh, goodness. Tax and other receivables. Be it so resolved that approval be given to adjust tax and other receivable accounts as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hillier, discussion.
Small tax adjustment for a business that closed.
All in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Carried.
9N, 2023 consolidated audited financial statements. Be it so resolved that approval be given to accept the 2023 consolidated financial statements as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hardy, discussion.
Council just reviewed their financial statements and accepted them, and this is to ratify them now, and they'll be submitted to Municipal Affairs.
All in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Carried.
9O, appointment of auditors for the 2024 financial statement audit. Be it so resolved that approval be given to appoint Grant Thornton as the town's auditors for the 2024 fiscal year. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Barrett, discussion.
Setting up for the next one.
Can't get away with it. One's finished and you set them up again for another year. Yep. All in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Carried.
9P, approval to purchase GPS unit. Be it so resolved that approval be given to purchase a GPS unit and all required from Benchmark Solutions for a total of $32,295.93, the lowest of the 3 quotes obtained. This will replace equipment that is at the end of its useful life and is no longer supported. Funds available in the account as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Tilley. Discussion?
Just equipment that needs to be replaced. It's very important to our Engineering Public Works Department.
Yes. All in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Carried.
Approval to purchase thermal imaging cameras. Be it so resolved that approval be given to purchase 2 thermal imaging cameras from Safety Source at a total cost of $13,282.50. Funds are available in the account as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hardy. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9R, approval to purchase upgrades to VHF radio system and P25 provincial, I can't even see it all, radio. Be it so resolved that the approval be given to purchase equipment required to provide further upgrades to the town's VHF radio system and to purchase additional radios to augment the initial 3-seed portable radios provided in relation to the P25 provincial radio system. The total approximate cost of these upgrades is estimated in the range of $15,000 to $20,000. Funds are available in the account as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hillier. Discussion?
And this is radio equipment that's really important to the day-to-day operations in the town, and technology is changing, and in order to, keep these systems up to date, we need to upgrade pieces of it and sections of it.
And this type of secondary type of communication is really important for our operators and, of course, probably in emergency situations as well.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad you didn't have to read that 3 times fast because it's really hard to get out, I can see. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9S, approval to purchase upgrades for sound system at the Emergency Operations Center. Be it so resolved that approval be given to engage Tucker Electronics to upgrade the audio-visual at the Emergency Operations Center at a cost of $17,762.51 plus HST. Funds are available in account as presented.
Seconder, Councillor Butler. Discussion?
This is an important upgrade for our Emergency Operations Center to continue their training and I don't know what I was going to say. I've gone almost through the alphabet on this agenda.
Yeah, you're like 20 minutes into your but I mean, stuff keeps popping up on the screens now.
Everything
too, right?
just, yeah, it does. Anyway.
This wonderful new technology.
Oh, we got lots of great technology, yep.
Okay. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
9T, I told you I'm almost through the alphabet. Financial Services Department report. Be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions of the Administrative Services Committee meeting of August 6th, 2024, and the Financial Services Committee meeting of August 7th, 2024 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor
Please.
Connors. Discussion?
No. Nothing to discuss.
Proper
It's
thing.
all been discussed.
Proper thing. All in favor?
That's it for Financial Services and Administrative Services Department's reports and agenda.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Goss. There's probably no money left now after all that, but get back to planning to make some more for next time. Recommendations of the Economic Development Committee, and I believe there was no meeting, Councillor Butler? Okay, yeah. And other committee reports. Does any councillor have any of other committees to report on? Yes, no, yes, no. Okay, they pretty well take a slumber over the summer for for some of those committees, so.
Well, we had, sorry, Mayor, we had a Youth Advisory Council Committee week before last, I think, and they're just talked about some things that they want to do in the fall. And of course, the big thing that was on their plate is their car wash, which I mentioned earlier. So that's, I can't even remember the date now, this night. It's come.
Yeah, and just before we wrap up. August 26th, yeah. And just before we wrap up, I just want to send a shout out to Bullpen Sports Complex, who are getting ready to be in full tilt just down the road here. And I think some of the council dropped in to see them this past week. But they've got some great space for all kinds of different activities right here in Conception Bay South. Is a great addition to the things that are happening here, and wish them all the best for their bookings over the next few months. And good luck to Chris and Amber and Ledrew for the work they've done there. They've transformed that building, as you wouldn't believe it when you go inside, the difference it is now. Okay, I think that's it. So we are going to meet here again September 3rd. School will be starting probably later that week, or probably starting later that week. So summer will be behind us. So motion for adjournment from someone. Councillor Hardy, seconded by Councillor Barrett. All in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you and good evening.